Hi everyone, and welcome to Tech Solutions Hub YouTube channel. It's your friend and technology instructor, Tech Wizard, and this channel is passionate about helping people who are blind or visually impaired to live more independent and fulfilling lives through technology by sharing and uploading the latest news and updates on technology for the blind. From time to time, you will be hearing different voices on the channel who will be covering everything from new assistive devices to accessible apps and softwares. These personalities will also be sharing tips and tricks on how to use technology to your advantage. We will be so glad if you can subscribe to the channel. I hope you'll find our videos helpful and informative. Please feel free to leave comments, share the videos, and suggest topics for future videos. Together we can make technology more accessible for everyone.
Hi everyone, let's talk about the new jieshuo spoof service. A lot of people calls it auxiliary service. You can call it spoof, you can call it auxiliary, you can call it another jieshuo, or perhaps a talkback clone. Not necessarily a clone, but it works like talkback. It imitates talkback. Don't be confused, it's not as slow as talkback. It's the same thing as using your usual jieshuo, but the service is only available on jieshuo Plus. It is not available on jieshuo Lite. So if you want to use this service, you have to move to jieshuo Plus. You have to abandon jieshuo Lite. So the service was created by the developer to actually solve some problems. There are some Samsung phones, some Xiaomi devices, some phones that have issues with recognizing some jieshuo accessibility commands. Although this doesn't necessarily fix all the problems, but it actually does a whole lot more better than what jieshuo itself will do. This is not another screen reader, right? Because you might be asking yourself, is this another screen reader? No, it is tied to jieshuo. It is not a different application. You won't find it under your apps, like you would find jieshuo Plus in there, but you'll find it under accessibility. It is embedded into jieshuo Plus, right? So like I said, it doesn't necessarily fix all the issues you might have with jieshuo accessibility commands. For instance, I use a Redmi Note 11 device and I'm running Android 13. If I want to power off or reboot my device, I have to swipe up with 2 fingers to turn off my phone and swipe down with 2 fingers to turn to restart my device. However, using both jieshuo Plus and the spoof service, or the auxiliary service as some might call it, doesn't fix it for me. I have to use a direct swipe up gesture to perform that swipe up. I have to use a direct swipe up gesture to perform the swipe up. Meanwhile, with talkback, it works perfectly. So I've seen people mentioning they cannot open notifications, from the notification shade when using jieshuo, but with the auxiliary service, also known as spoof, it fixes it. Some cannot turn on or turn off mobile data, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, perform all this toggle on and off on your quick settings or your notification shade using jieshuo. Some would have to resort to switching to talkback before they'll be able to do it, but with the spoof service you should be able to do it. And if it doesn't work, unfortunately you have no any other option. You just have to continue switching to talkback. I've always maintained that you cannot discard one of the service completely. If you're using jieshuo, you cannot discard talkback completely. That's what I meant. If you're using jieshuo, because there are some things you can't still you can't run with jieshuo. You run with jieshuo and it will not, you won't get a better experience unless you use TalkBack. It's like using NVDA on Windows. For some applications you have to run JAWS. So many of us who love using NVDA would understand what I meant. So let's dive into it. This is going to be a short and quick and simple demo. Like I said, you don't have to do a different settings for the spoof service. Whatever you have running on jieshuo Plus, your main jieshuo, the moment you turn on the auxiliary service, all the settings would also work with it, even without you having to do any backup. So
button.
Let's
home button. Home screen.
Dive into that. So you open
main menu.
I'm opening my main menu. So if you're using, like I said, this doesn't work with jieshuo Lite.
Main menu.
So let's open jieshuo settings.
jieshuo
so we'll look for
user center, accessibility settings,
or service.
accessibility settings, accessibility.
So now how you get to do this differs on different devices. On Xiaomi devices you usually find it under vision, right? Under, when you open your accessibility settings, you find the auxiliary service under vision. On some other devices you find it under downloads, right? You find it under downloads, under accessibility. When you open your accessibility settings, look for downloads or installed applications or installed services, right? For some devices, just look for it where you usually find your screen readers. That's the best way to put this. So I'm gonna swipe left with 2 fingers to move to the vision page on my device.
Vision.
All right, then I'll explore by touch to quickly get to what I'm looking for.
TalkBack off / speak items on screen.
So I focused on TalkBack at my first touch, then I swipe right.
Off.
That's the spoof service. That's the auxiliary service. It's just here off. It's just going to here off. So but if you perform the jieshuo, use the jieshuo translator,
sentences, TTS, OCR and translation,
it's going to call it off, but you have to use the translator. If you use the translator, let's see what the screen reader will call it.
Interpretation assistance service off.
Did you hear that? Let me do it again. I'm using the jieshuo translator to translate that off. It's a Chinese word. If you're using let's say speech recognition services by Google, that's Google's own text to speech, it will read that Chinese word to you. But for some TTS, vocalizer, a cappella, or ETI eloquence, as I'm using right now, it doesn't read Chinese character. Let me switch to speech recognition services.
Disabled screen curtain.
Sorry.
Enabled screen curtain. Main TTS engine.
I want to change to speech recognition services, so you could hear
synthesis from Google/com.google.
what it will call it.
The currently used TTS engine has been switched speech recognition and synthesis from Google.com.google, Android.TTS.
I think that's
TTS rate
too fast.
55.
All right, so let's leave that.
OCR.
So let's look at it now.
jieshuo plus on. jieshuo fuzu fuwu off.
That's what it will call it.
jieshuo fuzu fuwu off.
That's what it is in Chinese. Speech recognition and synthesis by Google do read Chinese, what's it called? It reads Chinese character, so that's why it was
Main
able
TTS
to read
engine.
it.
jieshuo plus ETI.
Let me go back to ETI. So
Currently used TTS engine with DTI eloquence TTS.
you click on it. Now, if you want to use this service, you cannot run both jieshuo Plus and this service together. It's not advisable. So the first thing you do is,
back button.
for me,
Use
I'll
options.
first
Shortcut off.
click on shortcut. So for people running the for people running Android versions below 13 or using devices that are not Redmi, what I'm trying to do here is to change my volume shortcut key settings. I have jieshuo plus in there already. I want to change it to this auxiliary service, right? So the first thing I would do is to open the service itself from the accessibility settings, then click on
Shortcut off. Options. Shortcut off.
shortcut, which is turned off here.
The service will perform these actions. The service will perform these actions. Full control is appropriate for apps that help you with accessibility needs, but not for most apps. View and control screen. It can read all content on the screen and display content over other apps. View and perform actions. It can track your interactions with an app or a hardware sensor and interact with apps on your behalf. Deny button.
So
Allow button.
I'm going to allow this.
Shortcut. Shortcut. Tap accessibility button. Uncheck. Tap the accessibility button %S at the bottom of your screen. To switch between features, touch and hold the accessibility button. More options.
I'm not going to use tap the accessibility button. I have talkback set on tapping the accessibility button. So I'm going to choose the volume key.
Hold volume keys unchecked. Press and hold both volume keys.
So I'm checking
Check.
this, then
Cancel button.
cancel,
Save button.
save. Okay,
Shortcut settings on switch.
the shortcut settings has been turned on for this, but I have to turn off the shortcut settings for jieshuo plus first before trying to hold the volume key to turn it on. If I try doing that now, it's going to bring out a kind of option. Let's try it.
Tap a feature to start using it.
Tap a feature to start using it. You see,
Tap a feature to start using it. jieshuo plus on.
jieshuo plus is on,
Off.
then the other one is off. Do you understand? So
Shortcuts button.
there's going to be a conflict, but there's an option to edit shortcuts here. Let me click on it.
None. Choose features to use with the volume key shortcut.
Okay,
Uncheck it accessibility menu. Uncheck it back.
okay,
Uncheck it accessibility menu. Uncheck it select to speak. Uncheck it game turbo. Uncheck it security.
okay.
Check it jieshuo plus.
So I can uncheck jieshuo plus from here.
Unchecked.
So if your device, right, if your device does not bring such option for you,
Checked.
what you need to do
Uncheck it
is
Nova 7. Uncheck it magnification.
I'll show you what you need to do. So you can uncheck it from here.
Uncheck it color correct. Uncheck it color inversion. Uncheck it one-handed mode. Uncheck it extra dim. Done button.
So I can press done.
Edit shortcuts. Tap a feature to start. Off. Edit shortcuts button.
So I'm going to just go back here because I've not
Switch.
turned off jieshuo plus.
Off. Select to speak off / here. jieshuo plus on.
So I'm clicking on jieshuo plus here.
Back button. Use jieshuo plus on. Off. jieshuo plus shortcut off.
So jieshuo plus shortcut has been turned off. But if you did not find the option to edit your shortcut after you press and hold the volume key for I think 2-3 seconds, it's not up to that, but just for a little while, maybe let's say 1 or 2 seconds, right? So if you didn't find edit shortcut in there, come to jieshuo plus and then
jieshuo plus shortcut off.
turn it off. But if this does not apply to your own device, if you have a separate settings for volume shortcut key, like a volume shortcut key settings, like you normally do have it on Techno devices, Infinix devices, what you just need to do is to go into that shortcut, volume shortcut key settings, then click on the service that was selected. It will definitely be on jieshuo plus. If you've set it on jieshuo plus, click on it, then look for what says off, just off. Click on it, press allow or accept, turn off jieshuo plus like I'm about to do now.
Options. Use jieshuo plus on.
I'm turning it off.
jieshuo. Stop button.
Stop. So let's press and hold. Let me press press and hold the volume key now.
Well, jieshuo plus.
You heard it says jieshuo plus. Let me go back to my home screen.
jieshuo. Home screen 1 of 1.
So I'll turn this off again. I'll turn it on again. I'm using my volume key now. The 2 volume keys.
Welcome to jieshuo screen reader.
So you had welcome to jieshuo screen reader. That's what I wanted you to hear. So I'm going to bring up my main menu.
Main menu.
You had it. Now on jieshuo plus, I have rearranged my main menu. The first option is jieshuo settings.
Main menu.
So let's see if we also have the first option as jieshuo settings with the auxiliary service.
jieshuo settings.
It's there.
Recognition menu.
So everything, every settings, your TTS, everything would be there. So if you are experiencing any difficulty with clicking things or performing some things on your quick settings, your notification shade, or you are unable to perform some edge gesture, you are unable to perform some swiping here and there, it also improves battery life as well. I've tested that from my own end. What I would suggest you do is use the jieshuo auxiliary service, also known as spoof or spoofer. I hope this helps. Like this video, share with your friends and families. Drop your comments if you have any questions. We'll be here willing to respond to them all. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.